What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're back again with another Elestrals Clash. This is from this past Monday. This is a new player here. This is their first Clash here. But do not let that deter you. As you can see, if you look at the very small end of the, at the very end on the left side, at the very bottom, you can see the time for this Clash. This Clash went nearly 30 minutes. And it is a doozy. And when I tell you, this is the most nerve-wracking Clash I have had in a good while, I ain't kidding. Like, by the time this Clash is over, my nerves were shot. So much so that I had to go click out of the Discord and go calm down because my nerves, just going over this Clash for purposes of this video, getting all the information, going back and forth, doing the spirit math, making sure our spirit counts are right. Towards the end of this Clash, my nerves were just going haywire again. That's how crazy this Clash was. But we're going to get started. My opponent is going to start. Most of the time, I do like to have starters. Like, if dice roll goes my way and I win, I usually let them go first because it is their first Clash. Let them go out there and have the first say of the Clash. Now, they did make one little mistake before this, like when this Clash got started, is that they informed me that their plan for this deck right here is Rhinoth into Rhinoth Sect. That is information they did not need to tell me, but they told me they are going to play the Ash Rabbit to try and get something here. What it is, don't know, don't have to tell me. That is Ash Rabbit's effect that you can look at the top 3 cards, you don't tell your opponent, and you put the other 2 back. You grab 1, you put 2 back, you shuffle your deck, and you go on from there. So, yeah, at this time, you know, we're cruising through it to be a Clash. I did not expect this Clash to last as long as it did. We actually went 10 turns, something I don't think I've ever done off-screen or on-screen before. They do end up setting 1. They do set 2 back row, which is not a bad thing to do, and they will end their turn. I draw my turn here. I'm going to set 1. I'm going to set 2 myself. I'm going to then pick up my Spirit deck to be able to grab 1 Thunder Spirit here. And I'm going to play 1 Toxion in a defense position to burn them for 1 Spirit. And that is basically my turn. Nothing else I can really do. My opponent draws. What is this big play that they want to do here to be able to try and turn the tide of this Clash early? And, thinking of what they're going to do here. Now, this Clash, what my opponent here think it is definitely the smart thing to do is, like, make sure it is their first Clash, so mistakes are going to happen. There are going to be mistakes, like, that change this Clash completely, I think, as things go. So, as I think about what they want to do, again, their goal here, they did tell me, which they did not need to do. I don't know why they did, but they said that they are looking to build a Rhino Sect deck. So, obviously, they want to try and get Rhinoth, but they are going to play Water Spirit. This has to be the Norpoon. And it absolutely is a Norpoon, which obviously Norpoon's effect lets you find one cost Elestral that is in the Frost element and add it to your hand. Obviously, if I was allowed this to go through, they would be getting a Rhinoth to be able to play next turn and eventually get the Rhino Sect up. Do they have Rhino Sect in their hand? I don't know. I'm not going to ask. That is the obvious play. I do play the Gorgon's Gaze to prevent that, so that is why that Gorgon's Gaze is sitting over there. Now, if you're watching my clashes and you see me go back and forth between cameras instead of doing what everyone else seems to do, like full axe on what we have up and down, or like A-Drive when he has up and down, like both cameras on the thing. Most of my clashes outside of I could probably do that for tournament clashes, but this was a clash. This was just a casual clash. This was the first time we had 2 people join, and if I was to try and do it, like I don't know how they do that and set up everything. I've tried to get everything set up right. anyone else joining would mess up the camera angles, and I'm like, I'm just not going to do that. So this is why I have it set up like this. I'll try and think about something else in the future, but for now, this is how we do it. Now, I draw. Not much is happening for me right now, so, I do expend to draw. Me talking about the previous class that you saw on here. I do expend to draw, and I do draw this time. I do not make that misplay of playing an Elestral when I shouldn't have in my last clash. I saw that on the video after the fact. That was on me. So that's what I'm my opponent right now, is that I messed up on the last clash. That's on here. So the count right now is 16 to 17. My opponent has a slight, small, little tiny lead. Now my opponent is going to draw. I'm so glad that you can't re-enchant another Poon to be able to do another. That's a good thing. My opponent is going to then put another Ash Rabbit down, which you don't really have to do. You can always just re-enchant the other Ash Rabbit. I understand, like, putting on a second one because you don't want to, have two spirits disappear from the board if one gets destroyed. Now, obviously, the opponent doesn't know this, but if you see me playing this deck here, this is a Fire Burn deck, or Thunder Burn deck as I call it. Yes, I have my Toxion out there, and yes, I can go after a couple other things, but they do get the shuffle again. If I'm able to Exalt Flare into Blazerous on the next turn, which, spoiler, I don't, I could destroy both rabbits with Blazerous, send up to Trifernal, and then destroy the Poon, costing them extra speed. Now, they swing in the Toxion at the end of the turn as they set one more back row. Turn 16 all for here it counts. I set one more face down. Yeah, I set a card face down. I play with things up a little bit. I do play Valseries in attack position, which is going to boost it up to 4, but then I'm going to boost it up again as I'm going to play the Volcanic Forge a little bit off camera, but yeah. I play Volcanic Forge to boost it up again. It is at a 5 attack. I'm able to at least hit over the Poon and destroy it. I don't remember what I'm explaining to him here, but yeah. Going to attack into the Poon. The account right now is 14 to 16. It's crazy because I know most of my clashes on here, like, by this time, big plays have happened, and one or both of us have a spirit deck by now. How it happens sometimes. The biggest issue with fire decks is that there are very, very, very few ways to recover outside of Ambrosia. Just Ash Rabbit, which is not a great card in my opinion. People overblowing that. It's mid in my opinion, because I want actual recovery, like a Catarant or the Tora or Jatagua or any of the other ones that already get at least 2 back. Ash Rabbit, I mean, it'd be fine for the Nexus Bank, but you're only getting 1 spirit back every time. Instead of 2. It's overblown. Ash Rabbit is overblown. My opponent draws. They do still have the 2 rabbits on the field, so not much I can do about those. Which they do make. This is a misplay to them, but they are still new. That instead of re-enchanting an Ash Rabbit to check to see what their top 3 are, they're going to expend to draw, which obviously allows you to only get 1 card instead of looking at the top 3, and possibly, shuffling the deck again to get that Rhinos that you're looking for, that they said that they have in the deck. I don't know if they actually have Rhinos, but I definitely wanted to make sure that they weren't going to get that with another Poon 2 turns ago. So, there's that. To expend the draw. Not much else you can do that turn. So, let's end it right there. So, yeah, they play another one then. No, they don't. They're just checking. It's my turn again. I draw. And right off the bat, I do have a. I'm gonna grab 2 spirits here, 2 thunder spirits because things look to be fire today. We're gonna play drop the leaf, putting back a second Valkyries, which I could have played, and it would have boosted them both up to the same amount of attack, which would have put them at 6. Yeah, 6. Because a forge in that puts them at 5 right now. So it's 6. But I felt like I could have probably, hopefully get a different play, you know, get the Exalt Flare. That's what I'm looking for mostly, is like if I can get Thunder going. This is the only Ambrosia I get to play the entire Clash. I have 2 other Ambrosias in my deck, but only Ambrosia I play the entire Clash. So my opponent is then going to, I'm going to attack into one of the rabbits, the one closest to the Spirit deck and Stadium slots. But my opponent, after thinking about it for a minute, they are going to actually hit me with a Tsunami, which is going to put my Valkyries into defense position and make him as vulnerable as possible. Because, unfortunately, that's all I can do. That's all they can do is right now. It is a shame, but it is what it is. So I have to end my turn. 14 all for spirit count right now. Definitely looking interesting here. Now this becomes another misplay that they end up playing, in my opinion, and I think because we had Alien UK show up for this class and they wanted to watch, which is cool, getting to see one of the moderators come in or one of the helpers come in to watch a clash and just give the new players advice and help them try and find their way in without spelling it out for them. But because Valkyries was boosted up by the Stadium to a 3 defense, this play here isn't the best idea for them to do. They do play the Cryoblast. Now, Cryoblast knocks your defense down by 2. If I didn't have the Stadium up, Valkyries would have been destroyed. This clash goes completely different, especially at the end with Valkyries playing a big role in how this clash ends. So they do that. Now, my opponent is thinking of what to do here. It is definitely, they're in a very tough position. They do play 1 Frost Spirit. They're going to play the Catarant. Catarant is a very good Frost Elestral because you can get 2. It is their recovery Elestral for Frost. Fire still needs a recovery Elestral like this. I don't care what anyone says. I'll say it again. Ash Rabbit is not as good for recovery as a Catarant or a Dratora or a Dratagua. Or even Quackle and Plucky, which both have speed recovery. They are going to play it, but I'm going to Shield of Achilles them, dropping my spirit count down to 2. They did end up dropping. They after everything was said and done, they're back. They still have 14 spirits after everything's said and done. The Cryoblast, in my opinion, was a mistake for them, but they are going to play. I'm going to play Necruff and attack position. Now, I'm trying to boost this up as much as possible and make this as fun for me as possible. So I'm going to play Hephaestus in attack position. Just play Hephaestus. Which, I do throw 3 on it. Now, at the time, I'm thinking, was this a good idea to do? But in hindsight, in the way the clash goes, this was absolutely the smart idea. I'm going to disenchant to get the Hammer of Hephaestus. Which, obviously, if you put on an Elestral, it's going to boost it +1 for every ruin on the field. I attach it to the Necruff here in a second, but also the fact that Valkyries is still in the field. Valkyries, with everything on the field, goes up to an attack of 11. Now, of course, attack doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of Elestrals because we base all the destruction of the spirit is spirit differential. But with Valkyries right now, outside of a Swordlet play, which they do not have, most 2-drops are not hitting over this Valkyries right now, with it being at an 11 attack. And the same thing with Necruff, because Necruff as well is at a 9 attack with the Hephaestus up, and the Hammer up, and the Stadium up. So that is 3 spirits right there. That is 3 plus 3 right there, plus the one underneath of it. to make it a 9 attack. So, most of the 2-drops they could possibly have is not taking over these guys right now. Now, I'm explaining to them because they're asking what is the effect of hammer, +1 for each rune on the field, which puts it at a +3. With the stadium being on the field, that's another +1, putting it to +4, making it a 9 attack. Now, unfortunately, they decide they're going Gorgons. I try to hit both rabbits because both rabbits are at a 5 defense, and I can obviously hit both rabbits. Now, unfortunately, they are going to Gorgons Gaze my Necroth, because if they don't Gorgons Gaze the Necroth, they're going to be losing a Spirit of damage. Which, it does suck trying to Gorgons Gaze a Necroth at this point, because you're trading off 2 instead of 1. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Gorgons Gaze on a Necroth, it does suck to do because, yes, the Ash Rabbit is in defense position, but you're still going to be losing 2 spirits instead of 1. But it does keep them, if they were to find a Elestral that's 2-drop, they don't know this, they could obviously misenchant a 2-drop right now, putting it on the field, which if they have Rhinosect in the Rhinosect in their hand, they could play it, it just would make it a little bit harder. They are going to play the Keone, adding 2 extra spirits on top. Now, next play is very interesting. Does ding me a little bit, as they are going to play Broomalinx, which you don't see too many people playing Broomalinx. Broomalinx is definitely a very interesting Elestral, as if you Nexus 1 or 2 up to it, which is, I don't know why they need to go up to 2, it gets to flip a ruin face down. Now, they go for the Hammer of Hephaestus here. Now, honestly, the way things go in this clash, if they would have went with Hephaestus, then this clash could have went a little bit differently, because I do use all the spirits off of Hephaestus to win this clash. So instead of just taking 3 fire spirits from me into the underworld, they could have taken 3 fire spirits from me and put them in the underworld, thus making a play later impossible for me to do. That in a minute. So they do get to play the Keone. Necroth gets dropped back down to 6 attack. Balsarius drops back down to 9 attack. They are going to play another Frost Spirit. This is another thing they could have done, is taking a Frost Spirit from Keone to trade back to get 3. They were going to play the Ambrosia, which was apparently the face down ruin there. Very interesting bluff for sure. I don't break the bluff that often. They're going to get the 3 spirits back. Now, if they would have taken the one off of Keone, they would be down to... They would be at 9 spirits instead of 8 spirits when this is all said and done. But they decided they wanted to do that. They are going to play 1 card face down. And they're going to end their turn. Right now, spirit count is me 5. I'm down to 5 spirits after my previous turn with everything I did. With only Ambrosia way for me to heal in this deck, which sucks. I could throw an Ambrosia Cornucopia into this deck because I do carry 2 Earth Spirits as a way to try and recover, just to do. But it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. It's something to think about. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. I don't think there's much else they can do. I'm just waiting for my angle to be flipped over to, which I've lost a lot of clashes that I wanted to put on YouTube because I forget to flip the camera and I don't want to try and explain what happens without showing. Now, this is a play that just sucks that it happened, but I'm glad that it happened here. I play Thunderstorm trying to pop Keone. The face down ruin happens to be Divine Blessing. And we'll talk about why I'm glad that it popped a Thunderstorm instead of a Clash of what I'm going to be doing in a later turn. But yeah, I played Thunderstorm, they're trying to pop the Keone, they play Divine Blessing. Divine Blessing you have to disenchant from the field to use. I hate that, but it is what it is. I do attack with both. I will be attacking with both my Elestrals this time. They have no back row, so I'm free to attack. They have no back row outside of Keone, but Keone is not going to do anything here. I am going to be able to attack after we do the chit-chat back and forth. To burn them for one, thanks to Necruff. Necruff is such a good little doggo. Which I'm picking up the This Is Halloween, one copy of that and 2 copies of Blazers. And I got a Triferno coming from my guy on eBay for me to be able to change out those to be a little bit more Shadow Stories. So 3 spirits me, 7 spirits them. Like, how do I win this clash? Seriously. How do I win? I am in the hole. If I didn't have fire spirits on my side of the field, of my fire Elestrals chanted on my side of the field, and they happened to throw out an eruption, this clash would have ended, like, in this turn. We're still got 19 minutes, or 11 minutes left in this clash. We did. We have 19 minutes left in this clash. 11 minutes, yeah, 11 minutes clash. Now my opponent draws, and lucky for them, because I didn't have any luck with outside of that one Ambrosia. That one Ambrosia helped save this clash as well, because without those 3 extra spirits I would have had, I wouldn't have been able to do everything I could do later on. Go checking to see if they have spirit deck. Again. Yeah. Opponent plays Ambrosia, coming up here in a second. I really do like this playmat they have here. I wish I had something good instead of seeing nasty, ugly deck that I definitely need a replacement of. Now, as you know, I did play Shield of Achilles 2 turns ago. No, I did. Because I played Shield of Achilles, they actually got to do Catarant 4 times in this clash. 4 times. There's the Ambrosia right there. They get 3 spirits back. That puts them back up to 9 because, you know, play 1 because they didn't play off of Keone. And then, just to add a little bit more to it, because why not? Why not? They're going to sit here and think about what they want to do. Clash does go a little bit to a hold here. This is a new player, as I stated before, but they put a heck of a fight. This is one of the best clashes I've ever been a part of. Like, win, lose, draw, whatever. This is one of the best clashes in my entire existence of playing Elestrals. They are obviously checking to see how many Frost Spirits they have in the Underworld. That is a big deal. They're going to play another Frost Spirit, and that definitely is hollow, which, yeah. They're going to play Catarant. The Catarant allows them to get 2 more spirits back. Man, if they could have Nexus or had a Circle the Sky, they could have definitely made this clash last a lot longer. Because you had the 2 on Keone, they could have definitely, like, you know, circled up and boom. They are back to 9 spirits, 11 spirits. I draw. I expend 1 to draw. I ain't got nothing going on right now, which puts me down to 2 spirits. I'm in trouble right here. I really am in trouble. I draw. I set 1 more face down, which, honestly, the one in the middle of the 2 face downs is the Hammer of Hephaestus, which is absolutely useless right now because I'm actually out of fire spirits. And you can only play fire spirits. You can only use fire spirits for, like, you can only use spirits for invoking counter runes off of something. I attack into both, doing 1 damage, obviously 2 damage because of Necruff's effect, knocking them down to 9 spirits. My opponent draws. Not much else they can do here. They're checking to see their spirit count in the spirit world, which I do recommend to new players if you're new to Elestrals. The best way to do this is to have your spirits, like, have 2 underworlds. You have your Elestral, Ruin, Spirit Underworld, and then you have your Spirit deck Underworld. So, like, if you're trying to count your spirits off, or you need to see how many spirits you have, you don't have to sit there and, like, go through and just... It makes it a lot easier when it comes to playing Ambrosia, or checking to see spirits for Cryoling and whatnot. Just a recommendation I throw out there. I see a lot of people do it all the time. I do it. just makes sorting later as well easier. You can just like take your spirit deck, fix it up, and then your Elestrals and Ruins back on your back on your deck and shuffle them immediately. So my opponent trying to figure out what they want to do. They are in the hole. I am at 2 spirits right now, mind you. I'm at 2 spirits. Anytime this can go, they get something like because they have 9 spirits right now. They get Rhino set like Rhino and can pull it off, and they get Rhino sect on the field. This clash completely goes their way in 1 turn. Basically 1 turn, especially if they have double Rhino sect, which I don't think they had. I think they had like 1. That's what they were talking about. Okay, I don't know why they did there. Oh, yeah, okay, so they used the effect. Okay, so they got Countermant a bunch because they did take Keone there to get the Countermant back. That's what they did. They expended 1, the disenchanted 1. Got the Keone back. They got the Countermant back. So, yeah, they got to play Countermant a lot here. They get 2 spirits back here. Gosh, this is annoying, like, just having to see Countermant. It's not as bad as Jayak, who I played him on a digital app, and he got, like, 6 spirits on his Countermant because I just couldn't do anything to get rid of it. It was kind of annoying. But, hey, Countermant, hey, you play what you got. You play what you got. Alright. 10 spirits now. 10 spirits, I'm at 9. I mean, at 2. I'm at 2. I'm so, like, hurting. It was like, as I'm getting close, I expended 1 to draw here. I move. Okay, I don't know how I expended that 1 to draw. I play Eruption off of the Hephaestus. Thank God I had that. My spirit math must be off because I have to be at 3 spirits still here. Yeah, so I'm at 3 spirits here somehow. I have to go back to that spirit math. Because the only way this works is I was able to do later. So, Eruption, thank God for that Eruption, too, because that hits them down to 7 spirits. And then I take 2 more spirits from them, from the Countermant. I cut their spirit deck in half, because they were at 10, and I attacked them for 5 overall. Thank God for that. Thank goodness for them. This is why I said, I'll put a pause here on the gas. This is why I said if they would have went for the Festus instead of the Hammer, yes, I would have been able to take the Hammer and get the Eruption, but then a play coming up later I would not have been able to do. So, thank God that they did not do that. That's all I gotta say is that thank goodness they went for the Hammer instead of for Hephaestus, because Hephaestus being there, oh boy, it made such a difference. It made such a difference. So, I'm down to 2, they're down to 5. I had to be down to 2, because of how it goes. My opponent draws. Oh no, I had to be down. I don't know. My opponent draws. We're on turn 9, by the way. This is turn 9. I've never seen a clash go this long for myself. Maybe some of the Elestrian clashes did, or other tournament clashes, but this, of course, and this is a new player, mind you. This isn't somebody who's been playing Elestrals for the last 2 years. This is their very first clash. Their very first clash that they've actually said that they've played, or a very competitive clash. The fact that we are 9 turns in, they have 6 spirits, I have 2. They do play Enfrostics. I did not realize that for a minute. They do the Enfrostics. So, yeah, my spirit math is off because I missed that Enfrostics play. Allows them to get the Countermant back. This is how they keep playing Countermant. They keep getting ways to get Countermant back. They're going to play Countermant again. Get 2 spirits back because that's not annoying as can be. They just keep that day. Spirit recovery. That's how you do it. My opponent then is going to put 1 face down. I draw. My turn this time. So I try to attack with the Necrof on this turn. But they're going to Altar of Stars my Necrof. That puts that allows them to get 2 spirits back, mind you. That gets them 2 spirits back. Because they have the Nexus from Kione up to Catarant, allowing him to get 2 spirits back. Ulcerius will take out the spirit, take out the Catarant, allowing me to just pretty much clear their entire board. They are empty of everything, and they are very low on spirits now themselves too. They should be down to 5 or 4 or 5 spirits, something like that. So my opponent draws. They ain't got nothing going around. They could if they wanted to expend the draw, but I do not think they do. They're down to low spirits too. They don't have a Catarant to save them anymore either. This is turn 10. We are 10 turns into this clash. And like, by this time, my nerves are just on another level of being like about ready to just completely explode. And I come up with a $1 million play. It was the only play I could really do. I put him in attack position. Because Ultra Stars is Ultra Stars. I'm thinking of what this play was like. Something that's like, do I do this? Do I not do this? They still had 5 spirits, so they could have PTA'd me on or GG'd me and like really annoyed me. But I'm going to do the play. I'm going to ascend. Oh, I actually was out of spirits, so this is very interesting. I was able to ascend into yeah. Put that on top. I see I misplayed here a little bit because I don't have another spirit to put under the Waspire. I don't know how this actually should have went. I probably should have just taken the one off the Volcanic Forge to be able to siphon over, because apparently you could do that, even though I've never seen anyone else ever do that. I disenchant 1 to burn them for 2 spirits. I disenchant 1 to burn them for 2 spirits, basically knocking them down to 3. I still have 3 spirits on the board for them to play. Festus is dead. I don't know why I didn't put it back. I then attack with both Elestrals, 3 spirits at all, and then I win game. We both have 0 spirits in our spirit deck. This was the craziest clash I have ever played, and for somebody who's been playing Elestrals for over a year myself, I've been playing since we got our Kickstarter back. We got our Kickstarter's things. But to go this long, 10 turns, 30 minutes of a clash for a first-time player is just crazy. Now, obviously, some of the biggest turns of the game was me playing the Gorgon's Gaze on the Narpoon, because they were looking for Rhinymph to play that off and get Rhinosect on the field and pretty much just wreck me. That changed the game a lot. Them going with Broomalinx to Hammer of Hephaestus instead of Hephaestus itself gave me that 1 extra spirit, even if I did not do this right and didn't have that extra spirit, which I should have just took from Volcanic Forge just because I didn't need the Volcanic Forge anymore. If they would have went with the Hammer instead of the other one, I would have been able. I would have been able to ascend. I would have been able to get the. Yeah, see, I would have had to do it a little bit differently, as I would have been able to Nexus from the Necruff onto the Exalt Flare, and then ascend up, put the Volcanic Forge off, and then be able to. It would have ended differently, but the fact that they didn't go for the Hammer itself, if they didn't go for Hephaestus itself, and giving me that extra spirit of damage was great. So, yeah, it was a very good clash. Just going over it, trying to figure everything else out. I did see I missed a couple things when I was going over it. The Improstics I didn't check for. I don't remember saying anything about Improstics. Me not having that extra spirit and not taking it off of that, I don't know if that's a misplay or not. But, yeah, that was a heck of a win. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.